Hello, my name is Jorge Garcia, and today I will be presenting on politeness theory. So, in this presentation, I will talk about what politeness in pragmatics is. In pragmatics, when we talk about politeness, we do not refer to the social rules of behavior, but more to the choices that are made in language use and linguistic expressions that give people space and show a friendly attitude to them. So, for example, a worker can come into work and try to talk to the boss in different ways. They can say, "Excuse me, do you have a minute?" or "You got a minute?" And this is showing consideration for the other person. So this can be seen as friendliness or solidarity. But on the other hand, if a worker comes into work and just storms into the boss's office and begins to talk, they aren't showing any kind of friendliness or solidarity. So no consideration is taken in place. These are just two quick examples of what politeness theory can be. So now let's go more in depth and dive right into it. So, what is politeness theory? The politeness principle explains how and why we are polite to one another. This theory was first formulated in 1978 by Penelope Brown and Stephen Levinson. And since then, politeness theory has expanded academia's perception of politeness. So, what exactly is politeness? Politeness is the expression of the speaker's intention to migrate face threats carried by certain face-threatening acts towards another. Another definition that I found is a battle of social skills whose goal is to ensure everyone feels affirmed in a social interaction. So being polite, therefore, consists of attempting to save face for another. So before I get into Brown and Levinson, I just want to clarify that the year is supposed to be 1978 and not 1987. So I do apologize for that. So who is Penelope Brown and Stephen Levinson? Penelope Brown is an American linguist who has studied a number of cross-linguistic and cross-cultural studies of language and cognition. Stephen Levinson is also a social linguist who is British and is known for his studies of language and culture and cognition. So Brown and Levinson both suggest that motivation stems from two main desires. So one, the need to be approved by or connected to other individuals, or a positive face. And two, the need to remain autonomous, or a negative face. All right, so what is face theory? So the best way I would define face theory, or at least face, would be the speaker's sense of linguistic and social identity. So obviously, depending on what the situation is, you get a sense or an idea of what the speaker's trying to get across. All right, so positive face theory is our right to be appreciated, liked, loved, and accepted by others in a conversation. So this could be supplied through compliments, greetings, or signs of approval. On the other hand, negative face theory is our right to be independent and not imposed upon by others in a conversation. So this could be fulfilled by accompanying requests with apologies, hedging expressions like saying kind of, maybe, or I think, and using indirect forms to avoid face-turning act. So a quick example of this could be somebody saying, "There seems to have been a little accident," versus, "How are you so dumb?" So something I found in my first article was, face is a social construct to help describe the public image of oneself that results from the communicative strategies used to create, maintain, or challenge such an image. So, pretty much what this is saying is that your face expressions are what help you get ideas across to whoever's listening to you. And this is Spears, the use of face work, and politeness theory. And the line that I found in my second article was, they satisfy the principal speaker's positive face since the hearer is trying to show her understanding. And I got this line from Emmy Heavenly, Emmy Heavenly's article, Theory to the Analysis of Casual Conversation. And this pretty much just shows how it could go both ways. So it's not just the speaker who needs to show face expressions and talk, but the listener does too. So what are the 4 strategies? So number 1, bald on record strategies usually do not attempt to minimize the threat to the hearer's face, although there are ways that bald on record politeness can be used in trying to minimize face threatening acts implicitly. So an example of this could be if someone's screaming, "Give me a drink," instead of asking. So number 2, positive politeness strategies. So these strategies seek to minimize the threat to the hearer's positive face. They are used to make the hearer feel good about themselves, their interests, or possessions, and are most usually used in situations where the audience knows each other fairly well. So pretty much this is to be friendly and using polite markers, and it's more appealing to the positive face of the listener. So an example can be, "What a nice house. Oh, what a lovely kitchen you have. Would you mind if I get a drink?" So by complimenting the person's house first, you are more caring and sympathize um, before you ask your question. So pretty much with positive politeness strategies, you display sympathy, approval, and understanding. You show interest by asking questions, pay compliments, flattering someone. You seek agreement, and you avoid disagreement, and you could even make jokes to help. All right, so now number 3, negative politeness strategies. So these strategies are oriented towards the hearer's negative face and emphasize avoidance of imposition on the hearer by being respectful. So these strategies are usually indirect and do not presume or assume anything. So an example of this could be someone saying, "Sorry to trouble you, but I'm really thirsty. I hate to ask, but would you mind if I had something to drink? And it's so nice to you to get up and get me a drink. I'm so sorry about this." So clearly you can see how this avoids any sort of imposition and is also being respectful at the same time. And the last one, number 4, off-record strategy. So this strategy uses indirect language and removes the speaker from the potential of being imposing. An example of this could be someone saying, "Wow, I am awfully thirsty. Would you believe I haven't had a drink all day?" So obviously this is an indirect way of asking for a drink and not letting the hearer be imposing of what they're asked for. So important factors. I think there are important factors in evaluating politeness. For instance, power. So, how great of a power difference there is between the speaker and the addressee. So, obviously, um, if a conversation is taking place in person, it would be much different than if it were through the phone. So, and actually, that's my example for distance. So, scratch that real quick. My example for power. So, the first thing I thought about was the difference between how I talk with my parents and how I talk with um, my friends. So that's my example for power. As for distance, like I said before, there's a difference between talking in person and talking over the phone. So both of these factors are important and used to evaluate the cost of imposition or how serious a face-threatening act is in a particular society or in a situation. So this is the video I'm using for the presentation, and this video shows negative face redress. So here it is. All right, so I was trying to show the clip, but it won't go through. So I'll just talk over it. So the clip starts with the bookstore worker asking the shopper slash thief to take a book out of his trousers, and the guy who is trying to steal the book then tries to deny the fact that he has a book in his trousers. So then the worker gives him two options. He asks the thief to either buy the book or put it back and wipe the book. And so the shopper then decides to go back and return the book. So this shows how the worker is respectful and giving the the addressee a choice to decide what to do.
So I saw you put that book down your trousers.
What book?
The one down your trousers.
No, I don't have a book down my trousers.
Right. I tell you what, I'll call the police and, what can I say? If I'm wrong about the whole book down the trousers scenario, I really apologize.
Okay. What if I did have a book down my trousers?
Well, ideally, when I went back to the desk, you'd remove the Cadogan Guide to Bali from your trousers and, either wipe it and put it back or buy it. I'll see you in a sec. Sorry about it.
No, it's fine. I was gonna steal one, but now I've changed my mind. Oh, signed by the author, I see.
Yeah, couldn't stop him. If you can find an unsigned one, it's worth an absolute fortune.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I
So, in conclusion, the politeness theory is intended to account for many ways we show consideration for others in all of our everyday interactions. It was first formulated in 1978 by Penelope Brown and Stephen Levinson. And there are positive and negative faces. So, positive is used when others like, respect, and approve of us. And negative is used when we do not wish for others to impede upon our rights. And this is my presentation on politeness theory and my works cited. And thank you so much.